What's up, alien savages, and welcome to another episode. It's been a while, and you can be certain that if I don't upload for a while, which is for me just a week, I have been crowing hardcore, and even when I'm crowing hardcore, I'm able to record great podcasts, so it rather means. Yeah, what does it mean? Going through major ego death, identity crisis of who am I really? Like, really, I was that. Yeah, I really found myself, but I'm not this anymore. I'm more than that now. And who's this now? And then I need to go in my cave and figure things out. I'm going with Faye. I'm in a ceremony and I'm going in a spiral. It's not a loop, it's a spiral that it's like in a washing machine. When she triggers something in me, and then I need to figure out the answer for myself. And I don't really loop anymore. I really I love crowing. I'm a crows junkie. I'm always like, please mirror me something I don't know about myself. How exciting. And with Faye, it's like hardcore. That, going back to the analogy of the spiral, that she triggers something in me, just something simple, like sharing, that she wants me to listen even more deeply, but in a maybe a little harsh way for me. And then I retreat, I shut down a little, I put my love a little bit away from her and fully into me, and my shadow comes out. In a sense, yeah, how to say that, so, storytelling. My 20s, I was such a beacon of positivity. It was so easy for me to be positive. I listened to Bashar and I practice healthy lifestyle choices. And oh my God, I'm just so excited. I'm just so excited. And then 2020, when I had this walking experience, and then just the next years, especially like the last 2 years, like 2023 and now 2024, is when the darkness of the world a little bit overcame me. That, Earth is ghetto. You can say whatever you want. This is a sick world we're living in. And we're coming out of a cycle, the cycle of this forgetfulness. And we're in the awakening, the transformational age. And the last 2 years, 2023 and 2024, it got to me. It's like the more you raise your vibration, the more aware you get to the positive and the negative. And in my 20s, I wasn't so aware of the negative because I wasn't so awake. So I was just like, oh my God, the world's gonna go vegan and woo, and I'm here and I'm becoming a minimalist. And there was so much to grow, and I was like so cute and naive because I wasn't so awake to the bigger picture and all the shit that is going on. I was protected. We're always protected. We only can get what we can handle. There's this really amazing Bashar cutout. I might add it at the end of this podcast. It's the more you wake up, to the light and the darkness, because now you can handle it. And the last 2 years, there is so much shit, there's so much shit, where to start. And it a little bit overcame me. It's like that there are a million reasons not to dance. And I decided not to dance. It got me, but it's like, no, I just dance. Like, joy is a choice. And there are all the reasons to not be joyful, but it's simply a choice. Follow your highest excitement, the full formula. My 20s, I nailed it. The last 2 years, it got tough because once you're so outnumbered by dark shit and then it infiltrates you, you enter weird dreams, So that's why the spiral is that I retreat inwards to myself and my shadow comes out, in the sense of there's still some darkness in me that hasn't been fully integrated yet. And I love sharing that so raw. Like, I really invite you to watch my Instagram stories, because it's just like I started journaling, and I just write down all my shadows and just write them down, and I just post it in my story. Rawr. What were they in a nutshell? Porn. This being a little bit cold, a little bit not caring, too alien. Being a bit too intense sometimes, too triggering. Wanting to fuck all the time. And you can call it shadow or not shadow, but it's something. It's just like, I call it shadow because nothing is inherently bad. Duh. Nothing has a built-in meaning. We give everything a meaning. Why do I call them my shadows? Because I haven't fully integrated them yet. They're like, your shadows are actually your biggest superpower once they're fully integrated. So all these things I'm naming, there's something not fully integrated, and that's why I'm making the podcast, because I'm having some big downloads of that I integrated them more, and I want to tell you about. But first, of the sake of vulnerability, what else came to me? My shadows. I was actually, I put my MacBook here and have like my list, but I love my podcast so raw that whatever comes to me, which is out here in nature, breathing in that good ass prana, as Infinite Water likes to say. Let's take a deep breath. Fully exhale. And inhale. Yeah, having too much screen time, watching too many things on my screen that are just bullshit. That's another shadow. Okay, so let's break that all down. Like Faye, she's so much light, and I enter these great upward spirals. You might have listened to my latest podcast, but then something hits me again, and I need to retreat in myself and get to those conclusions like she made already for myself. There's a lot of redefining happening inside of me what is actually cool, for example. That this beacon of love, this unconditional love, is the coolest shit ever. Like, being the best human being, being so caring is so cool, and we're so programmed. We're like, so you've been cool about it, right? Oh, yeah, I was cool about it. Like, I was cold about it. Like, we're like, our programming goes so deep, the way we show love. And in the past, I was like, but hey, it's so creative and da-da-da. But now I'm like, yeah, it might be creative, but for me, the coolest thing is just be this beacon of unconditional love. Like, fully. Like, witnessing Faye in her power, like, the effect she has on people. I want to have that effect. She's just effortlessly shining her light and making people light up around her. And it doesn't take anything away from her. It's like a candle, you take a candle, and with one candle you can light 100 candles around you, and it doesn't take your own light away. And so yeah, I'm practicing. For me, cafes and restaurants and the gym, like Santiva, the whole gym area and the spa, the sauna, the ice bath, is a great practice ground to be this beacon of love on every day. However I feel, on the day where I feel great, it's really easy for me. On the days I don't feel so great, where I'm like low energy and I'm really like processing something, can I still be a beacon of love? And it doesn't mean I need to smile at everyone or stuff like that. Not at all. It's an energy I carry. Yeah. We're all telepathically connected. Like, yeah, right now it's not so strong yet that we literally hear our thoughts. Thank God. Can you imagine being in the subway or somewhere and hearing everyone's thoughts? People are still so negative. Why do you think the aliens are not here? Because most of them, the higher vibrational aliens, they're already telepathically connected. They come here, they can hear all our thoughts. Do you think they want to hear our garbage? You go in the subway and it's like, I want to fuck her. I want to rape her. I want to kill this guy. I hate myself. I'm thinking about killing myself. It's just, and this is what I mean. The darkness of the world overcame me a little bit. And now I'm like, and I salute every one of you. Every one of you. We're the survivors. High five. Ghetto fist. You made it. You are a fellow survivor. Getting here is no easy task. Earth is a masterclass. Coming here is the toughest shit ever. The whole universe is watching. How can we flip this planet? How can we transform that much darkness? And getting to 2024 in this awakening timeline is no small task whatsoever. If you made it until here, wow. And of course, we're all damaged. We all have emotional wounds. Otherwise, you wouldn't made it to this point. It's a constantly healing process because we're still living in a sick world. Every day, sick shit comes. So it's not like I'm healed and I stay healed and now I just awaken. No, it's like you constantly need to stay healed. You need to stay in your center. That's why right now meditation, going into deep nature, self-care is more important than ever. I mean, I don't like this saying, it's more important than ever because like it's all now and what is ever. It's always like challenging times kinda. But I just liked how it emphasized that. Ferdi, you don't need to walk over eggshells and how you speak. You can just like, yeah, talk more like a human. Yeah, that's another thing. Like, not being too alien, you know? Yeah. Let's take a deep sip. Yeah, the heart is the way. Connecting to my emotions is tough for me in a sense. I re-listened to a channeling from Faye. It's another Faye. She gave me a really good face reading and I re-listened to it. And she was saying, amongst many other channels, that I actually feel so much. I have such a huge capacity to feel. Sometimes I feel like I'm having two hearts. And because I feel so much in the sick world, I gotta master in shutting down, in bypassing my emotions. I'm just gonna blow my nose. And guess what? Bypassing my emotions isn't serving me anymore. I talked about this in my ayahuasca podcast. Because it became the loneliest place. It's like people are deep in their shit and I'm up there in my spirit treehouse and not being willing to go down in the shit and meet people where they're at, but screaming out of my treehouse, follow your highest excitement, woo! And eventually my beautiful spirit treehouse, as a metaphor, became really lonely. Because like, yeah, I'd rather be connected in the shit than being alone. All we want is connection. What creates more connection? And also, connecting in the form of tough, crunchy, suffering moments is when we actually connect the most. This is a big one. I think I talked about it in my last podcast that, like, you know, the dolphin energy of like, woo, we're dolphins and we're in our joy and Faye and I were having fun. This is great. And this is our baseline. But when we're in our whale energy of like our soul and there's something crunchy, like something triggering, and I own my trigger, I'm willing to look at it, I don't identify with my feelings, and we get to the bottom of it. And sure, it gets crunchy here and there. And these, my friends, are the moments where we connect the most. And all we want is feel more like one, feeling more connected. So knowing that, I'm like, yeah, why do you think I share on my podcast my worst parts of myself? Because this is what creates the most connection. I don't want to tell you like, yeah, I'm living in Thailand on this tropical island and I have money and I'm young and I'm hot and I have a gorgeous girlfriend and we just go to the waterfall every day and I'm going to, like, you're just like, yeah, fuck you. Like, I'm having all these challenges and I'm telling you, I have the same challenge. On the surface, we have different challenges, but in the core, it's all the same. Like, we're one collective and I want to tell you my challenges because this creates more connection, because it's challenging times right now and we all want to feel connected. And it's like when people pretend, when they're like, I have my shit together, da 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 da, and then, and they don't, it makes people feel like shit because they're like, oh, this person is doing so well and I don't. I'm struggling over here. I'm like, fuck that. We're all having challenges, and why not share that? Because this creates the most connection. So that's why I love sharing my worst parts on my podcast. Like, what else can I share that is like really disgusting about myself? That is really raw. Where do I doubt myself? Oh, Ferdi, but you're so far. How can you doubt yourself? Yeah, how can you not? Like, come down here in a human body and taking on these massive limitations and then living in such a sick world. How can you not doubt yourself? Why do you think I closed my heart? Because it's such a sick world. Like, after ayahuasca, I was so open. And it hurt. It hurt so much. I cried so much. So I shut down again. But now I'm coming to the conclusion. I want to stay more heart open. That this is our biggest superpower. And it's like, how do we navigate our emotions is saying a lot about how much our soul is here, because our soul is a master in navigating our emotions. And then I see this in Faye, like, she stays heart open, and sure, she cries and she has like really hurtful emotions that just like her entire chest is like, but she doesn't drown in it. She doesn't identify with that feeling. She goes to the bottom. She goes to the soul level. And there's always medicine underneath. And I guess I'm afraid why I shut my emotions so down, because I'm afraid to get lost in my emotions, drown in them, and feel too much, because there's so much pain and I'm like, It's like when I took MDMA, I don't want to go out in the world. It's like I'm way too open. But yeah, I let these fears go, because for me they're nonsensical, because for my reality, it's really safe. And I want to lead the way, like Jesus. He was such a beacon of love. Be like Jesus. The second wave of Christ consciousness is going inside. It's all of us. We're all awakening to our own Christ consciousness. This is the awakening. And yeah, I guess because I have these moments where I feel so much and it's just so hurtful, and then I don't like it. And then I love to like connect to the bigger picture again, like this gray style, like it's kind of coldish, not caring so much because I see the bigger picture. Emotions don't exist in a vacuum. They always come from a belief. What is the underlying belief? My emotions and thoughts and beliefs create my personality construct based on the white light coming from my higher self. I go back into the stream of the white light of my higher self, where I see the bigger picture, the interdimensional web of connectivity, how everything is perfect synchronicity. But this is a fucking cold blaze. This is not making me the best human. This is just making me a cold virus that is awakening people into a void that isn't filled with warmth. The heart makes it warm. Like, again, merging merging your higher self, like the universal message, with your inner kid, like filling it with love and laughter and joy, and also like sad and like all the like the heart, the soft heart. Like we got this soft heart, and all it's so beautiful what it brings. It's just not like getting lost in it. It's like always balance, and I'm too far in the. I'm a little cold. I'm a little not caring. Getting a little too intense, of feeling so alone, being so awake, and then desperately wanting to wake people up. And then I have conversations where I can feel I triggered the person, and I don't even know if they like let this in. And it wasn't a pleasurable moment. It wasn't an enjoyable moment. Why would I do that, Ferdi? I want to be less triggering. I don't need to wake people up hardcore all the time. I can just meet people where they're at. This is what I'm so learning from Faye. She meets people wherever they're at, and she shares moments of love. And then this is a beautiful moment. Like the moments I spend with her and other people, they're so full of love. And I'm like, oh, these are actually the moments. It doesn't matter how awake we are and how far we blah. So like, especially those quickies, these interactions with other people, I just want to meet them where they're at and share love. Yeah. Because otherwise it's feeling disconnected, it's feeling lonely. This is shit I don't like. Let's take a deep sip. Mm-hmm. Yeah, feels good to be back. Did you miss me? Yeah, yesterday I had a really good day. And before that, I had 3 days where I really struggled. So I want to come back to the struggle. I just first want to tell you about the really good day, and then I want to tell you about my deep struggle. Because this is, another one. This is a big nugget. Are you ready? Let me blow my nose. So, again, Faye told me that. I was blown away. That being in your joy is kind of reaping the fruits, riding the wave out of a challenging time, out of a breakthrough time. And knowing that when you're in a challenging time, you might be like really challenged, like really struggling right now. And know that this time right now grows the ripest fruits that you're soon about to enjoy, the big harvest. This is also what this awakening is called in many old scriptures and stuff. The harvest. And we're right now creating the most joyful, ripest fruits that we can feast in Valhalla for 100,000 years. Evil laughter. So, again, yesterday I had a really good day, and I'm in a really upward spiral. I can feel it today again, and this might last for, I don't know, a week or so. And then I have like the spiral. Then I have like a hit again. I go in my shadow, and then I know there's like the next level burst. And my down phases are shorter and shorter, like over the time with Faye. Like it was like a week, and then 4 days, and now it was quote unquote just 3 days. And like I don't have the crystal ball. I don't know. Like it's all flow state, but I can really feel these phases getting shorter and shorter because I've experienced this unconditional love, this home vibration more and more. And it's always a new layer. Like I keep saying that. For some of you, I might sound like a broken record, but it's once you entered a significantly higher vibration, you are kind of a baby again and have to relearn everything. It's like my 20s, like, yeah, I was so positive all the time, and I was also so basic. And there's nothing wrong with being basic. No, I'm so happy I was so basic because I was so happy. Oh my God, I was so happy. But now I just have way more depth. Now people come in my life and I can actually, no matter what they go through, I can empathize. Because I, at this point, felt everything. all the shit. Oh my God. You're in the hospital dying? Yeah, I've been there. You're suicidal? Yeah, I've been there. You're really depressed? Yeah, I've been there. You're really struggling with what's the point, feeling way too awake in this timeline, hating this world? Yeah, I've been there. You feel alone and feel like no one gets you? Yeah, I've been there. You have trouble getting out of the bed in the morning? Yeah, I've been there. Your family doesn't, yeah, I've been, yeah, everything. People hate you on social media? Yeah, like Michael Jackson, you know? Watch this documentary if you're excited on YouTube. It has like a lot of views, like over 20 million or so, this one. And it's like, he stayed so basic. He didn't become more integrated, and then it was his huge downfall. He stayed a kid. He didn't merge with his higher self. He tried to hide in La La Land, and then the darkness of the world overcame him like crazy. He couldn't speak up for himself. He couldn't, like, deal with all that shit. But this is like, it's a mean and nasty world, and I don't care how tough you are. It keeps you to your knees and keeps you there permanently if you let it. Wake up! Like, I'm so thankful for my last relationship. Like, I really explored so much depth in shit and how to, like, be triggered so much and really get the triggered state and not identifying with my trigger and becoming kind of a politician in the way I talk and be able to confront conflict and all this stuff. There's so many, it's just what's needed in this world. Like, how am I a good community leader? How do I show up? How do I support others? How do I deal with conflict? How do I, like, actually feel into myself and what I need and my boundaries, and how do I communicate them in a safe way? How do I create safety for others? All this stuff, you know? Yeah. Okay, where was I going? Let's take a deep sip. I lost my train of... okay. So, if you're right now struggling, there will come the ripest fruits, and you will ride the joy train for... It gets longer and longer, you know? Like, I really reflect a lot on my life right now. You know, meditating a lot these days, every morning for 20 minutes, and then I go to the waterfall almost every day and stay there for many hours, like 2 to 6 hours. And there I don't have data, I'm not on my phone, I'm meditating, I'm doing breath work, going in the water, having like my own version of inner walk there, which is a form of meditation. If Faye's there, we talk a lot. I'm sighing, I'm singing, I'm listening to Bashar, I'm journaling, and I'm just like being, you know, like in this meditative state. In deep nature, the waterfall is payday. I'm purging. No bullshit is allowed. I have to purge all this shit out. So I experience right now something I call my sober life review, and I think this is what's needed to ascend into this higher dimension we can all feel coming ASAP. I read this post yesterday, the new Earth is completed, 97%. And someone texted me like, how long do you think 3% will take? I'm like, I hope maybe just 3 months. So yeah, but we can all feel it, like whatever, soon, you know. Bashar is saying in his latest that within the next 5 years, open contact is established. And who does Bashar reach? Like Bashar, the average Bashar consumer is like, to not judge or anything, but fairly basic. Like, your grandma can watch Bashar, you know what I'm saying? So this is for like the broad collective right now, within the next 5 years. It's soon. So, and yeah, to meet higher dimensional beings, to be in a higher dimension, we cannot bring too much baggage, too much garbage. We have to purge it out. And I'm experiencing the sober life review right now hardcore. And so I'm processing my life a lot. And there I can really see these phases I've been in, that like 2022, 2021, 2022, especially 2022, such a golden year for me. Like all the meetups, the retreats, the flow state retreats, the play parties, and just like I'm riding this wave. Like I had this huge walk-in experience 2020. I dealt with my scar and learned to love myself on a new level, inside out, and learned to love my scar and like recovered from the surgeries and really embodied the universal message. And then out of this darkness, I had a huge golden era, which lasted for over a year. That's what I'm telling you, And then, like through this my past relationship, I cultivated so many new depth levels. So now I can reach a new golden era that maybe is the one that will last for ever, kinda, because the down, like it always goes up and down, but the trend goes up, So like comparing, quote unquote, comparing my down phase right now to 2020, 2021 in the hospital, like I'm living in paradise. Who am I kidding? Like my life is amazing. So but it's always in relation to what? If I struggle, I struggle. Period. Don't compare your struggles to anyone else. It's like, oh, you're only 6 feet under. Well, I'm 12 feet under. You only had 6 surgeries, Ferdi? Poor you, I had 25 surgeries. Yeah, and this guy over there, he is just like beating himself up because he didn't talk to his crush at the bus station. This is his struggle. It's valid. Whatever you're going through, this is the most important thing. This is your stepping stone to get on the next level. So don't invalidate it by like blah. That being said, if I then go back in the bigger picture of like self-reflecting my life, I'm like, oh wow, how much I've grown and how much nicer everything is compared to where I was. Like we're coming out of such densities. Like I have so many less density layers on me. So always coming back to gratitude. Grateful. Anyways, so I reflected a lot, like these highs following by lows, like when I was in the army, when I was 18, 19, and then I moved to Berlin, and the first years I hated it. The school I was in, I had no friends, but then I got slowly out of school. I met my best friends, Philip and Julian, and we moved together, and then there was like a golden age for like 4 to 5 years living with them. Can you imagine? 4 to 5 years. So if you're struggling right now, it's because you're prepping a new golden era, because the last one doesn't do it to you anymore, because you're not that person anymore. You're more than that. You was that, but you're not that anymore. You're more than that. So right now is really the cultivation, the full integration of reaching the next stage in your life. So if you see it from that standpoint, like how exciting, what am I brewing right now? Like all these heavy emotions, and I'm depressed and whatever, like I'm struggling. And this is what I came out of yesterday. Yesterday I had a really good day. So I was like, yeah, Ferdi, like less phone. More like real life. Wake up and don't be on your phone. Go and meditate right away. Just go out more. I went into the coffee shop in the morning, and I started journaling, and I started drawing a lot. And this is also like, I think I picked up the quotes from Faye, because she's like a master drawer. Like if you don't know her art, check her out. I always link her down below. And we also move in the house. I spoke in the last podcast about we move in that house today for the next 3 weeks. And I have a feeling her and I will be in such a creative cave, sharing a lot. So get ready, but no expectations. Let's see. But yeah, I can really feel that. Anyways, it's like the person you're merging, especially also sexually, you're really becoming them in the sense of their colors, their gifts. So I all of a sudden like draw really good and draw a lot. It's just funny. Anyways, so, and then from from the coffee shop, I was going, like, there I picked out my phone and started to do things on my phone. And from there I went to the gym, and I was so, this beacon of love. I practiced, and I had and then, anyways, great day, blah, blah. Super nice. What was before that? 3 days of kind of shutting down a little bit to Faye. Not in the sense like, I'm super nice to her. It's just like I need to retreat. Whoa, this is a big download. I talked about it in the past. I already figured it out a while ago, but it was that I was on the giving side and not the receiving side, which is, for me, it was always just like I embody a really high vibration, and people who come in my vortex, like the meetups, the retreats I hosted, like it was often way younger people than me, and I had like a lot to share to them. So I was holding this energy bubble where they could raise their vibration quickly, but this is the important one, after like 2 to 3 days, they need to leave my energy, or it's just like the waterfall. It's just like not vomit, like, or it is like the waterfall is like watering over them, but like vomiting over them. That when they're in my energy bubble, they can hold it, but once they leave it, they can't. So after 2 to 3 days of all the things they have like newly discovered, they need to now integrate in their own timing. They need to leave my energy field. And if they don't, for me, I get tired, eventually I get sick, and for them, it doesn't feel good. And they don't know. This is the thing. The person, quote unquote, with the higher vibration, whatever, that like casts this energy field, they need to notice that. Because for the other person, it's like, oh, I'm learning something new. Like with Faye, in her energy, there's so much depth I'm picking up. I'm like, whoa, I wanna stay there. And this is what I did. I stayed too long. Vicky was saying, Ferdi, you gotta leave her energy field every 3 days. You gotta have a day apart. Every 72 hours, you need an entire rest day. Also, no texting. We started doing that, and then we stopped doing that because we got too excited about each other. And this is where I needed to retreat now, because it's getting too intense, where I need to come to these conclusions myself. I need to redefine what's cool for myself. And then my shadows came back out because I needed to see it from a new point of view. I started watching porn again. I started being a lot on my screen again. I listened to a little, maybe too much German rap again. I didn't go to the waterfall and was like close to like buying cigarettes again, and like, oh, what's the point? I'm already so far. I don't want to outcrawl people even more. Maybe I want to lower my vibration a bit to belong more. I just want to be normal. And it felt like shit. It was the downward spiral. And then I had to experience that. Experience is the only thing that's real. That's the thing. Like in an energy bubble, you can feel another person's energy, but you need to embody it and experience it yourself. Thus, often you need to fall back in your own shadows to see that you're actually done with it. That you're like, oh no, I don't want to watch porn really anymore. I don't want to like garbage myself. I really that's the thing with Faye. She's such a beacon of unconditional love that how she like is stopping and feeding dogs everywhere. She always has dog food in her scooter, and she's buying chicken for Moritz, the waterfall dog, and she's like so caring, And in her energy, I'm there too. But now I need to leave her energy and actually prove to myself that I am that for myself. Not because she likes this version of me, or I want to like impress her, or I want to be loved by her. Am I actually loving myself enough to buy dog food for Moritz? Am I doing this out of my own self-love? Am I going in the ice bath for 5 minutes, 3 to 5 minutes? Not because she does it, because for my own self-love. Am I meditating in the morning, not when she sits next to me and I can enter her field and it feels great, and am I actually doing it, like what are you doing when no one is looking? This is how much you actually love yourself. And if you're around someone who quote unquote loves themselves more than you love yourself, maybe, it's so easy to like enter the upward spiral, but then it actually shows you how much you hold by leaving their energy bubble, and what are you then doing when no one's looking. Are you meditating? Are you doing breath work? Are you like, like yesterday at the waterfall, I'm really getting rid of this Schadenfreude. Like, because what is Schadenfreude? Like, it's a German word for someone is experiencing pain or suffering and you are happy about that. And I'm not having that in a like evil way or anything like that, but just like when justice is due, like people get what they deserve, karma comes around, all this, And then how can I not get some joy out of that? But what is actually underneath that? This really came to me at the waterfall. It's just my own self-hatred. Because if I really love myself, I wish everyone the best. So yesterday at the waterfall with my ex-partner, Brittany, I was like saying out loud, I love her so much. I will always love her. And she will always be part of me. I had nothing but deep love, Because I got in touch with my own self-love on the deepest level again and actually embodied that. And it's like we constantly have to relearn it. Like, yeah, what I'm telling you is nothing new, but once you hit like a way higher vibration and be aware of way more darkness and stuff like that and the structure of reality, you're a baby again of learning self-love, kinda. This is my experience. Like in my 20s, being so basic, so naive, like, and everything was just so exciting because it was so new, But then get to a point where you like did all your excitements in a way where you got to the end. Like I got the best physique. I reached like a big social media following. I earned a lot of money through that. All these things in the past, I was just like, oh, it's so exciting, and I crow, and then what, I reached the end level. And then don't get depressed and don't start to like hit the downward spiral. It's like, it was so easy for me back then going into the gym when I was like doing it for the first years and building my first muscles. But now I don't want to become bigger. I love the way I look. I reached my dream physique. Now what? It's so easy to maintain it, but do I maintain it just like in what energy? It's all energy. And do I actually maintain my physique out of self-love? Like now I'm going to the gym and I'm making love to myself. It's less about what I do and more the energy I do it in. That's what I'm saying. And the last 3 days I struggled. I was like, should I go to the waterfall or buy cigarettes? What's the point? And then I recommend you get the middle line. Like if you cannot reach the upward spiral yet, instead of falling down in the downward spiral, the middle point. Like instead of buying cigarettes, I was drinking another coffee. Instead of buying too much junk food at 7-Eleven, I bought a protein shake. It's like not the best, but the middle, and then you can slowly take the turn into the upward spiral because you've purged all the shit out of your system. See that this really doesn't serve you anymore. Redefining your definitions of what's cool. Like we're living in such a sick world where what's cool is like not cool. What do I mean by that? Like, I love German rap, I love rappers, and many of them, it's just like, what they define as cool is not cool, I mean, oh, really? Yeah. But still, like, these actual beacon of unconditional love, for me, often, these are people that are older. And often I don't find them super cool, I find them kind of boring. How they talk, and it's just like, I don't want to be them. But then, no, it's us, the young generation, to make that shit cool. To make that shit swaggy, to have our own language, and to like, to make it so cool to take care of our suit and be in the upward spiral and actually love ourselves and love other people and share these deep, dropped in whale moments with our loved ones and actually care. Like, you need help, reach out, and we're coming right away. This is cool. You need someone? Call me. And we're coming. Like, self-centering yourself. Like, let's first meet when we're like in our own center. Like, let's hear ourselves. Like, sitting in the morning meditation for 20 minutes is so cool. Not being on my phone until after my meditation is cool. All these things, you know? Because I know, like, many of you, some of you are inspired by me because I am really far in the game, you know? And if I now be like, oh yeah, what's the point? Ah, fuck everything. Like, let's just get by. It's so easy that the darkness overcomes us. But it's like, no, we're stronger than that. So yeah, let's rise up together. That's what I'm saying. Okay, I feel really complete. I feel really good. I feel in the upward spiral. Today I have another Wiki session from 12 to 2. And then we move houses. And yeah, I just can feel this sparks of inspiration, of creativity flowing through. And maybe if it's flowing through me, it's flowing through you because we're one collective. So always know your struggles are your medicine. You're meant to share that. You experience this shit for a reason. So see what is underneath. Yeah, and maybe this new house, it's amazing. I'm definitely excited to do a vlog again, a good old vlog together with Faye. I'm so excited to show you Faye. I'm so excited to record podcast together with her. All that stuff. Okay. I think I'm gonna add this Bashar cut out. For more Bashar cut outs, check out Higher Mind on Spotify. Really good ones, especially the latest. Like, yeah. Check it out. The latest events on Higher Mind on Spotify. Amazing. What else? Let me catch you up to speed. Yeah, that's it. Thanks for listening. Until next time. Peace out.
Good day, Bashar.
And to you, good day.
I would like a clarification on interactions that you have on a daily basis with people that say are negative, are depressing, are in some way not positive to be around.
Well, all right.
My
Were you present when we delivered some of that information yesterday?
Yes, I was, and so that led to my question. What I usually do is just try to avoid these people. I don't find pleasure being around them.
All right.
And so I avoid them. But yesterday I got the impression that we might actually grow faster or
You can, yes.
if we are around them.
You can, yes, and that is a purpose that they can positively serve. The idea, of course, is in some senses twofold. Number one, as you say, not so much a matter of avoidance, but a recognition that if someone is of a vibrational frequency that simply isn't compatible with your preferential reality, then yes, you do not necessarily have to associate with those people. Mm-hmm. And that's all well and good. And then in that context, you're also giving them, by behavioral example, an opportunity to understand a consequence of their action. In other words, if they want to interact with you, they will also have to change their frequency for you to want to interact with them. Mm-hmm. If they choose not to, then there will be no interaction, and that will be seen as a consequence of the vibration that they are choosing and the vibration that you are choosing. So in that sense, you can recognize that you may not have compatibility and you don't have to associate, but you don't have to look at it as avoidance per se, because the idea is that if you simply are of a certain frequency, it will probably be less likely that you will simply allow for an arrangement to occur where you will encounter them as often or even at all. However, on the other side of that coin, as you say in your language, if you then, with that understanding, still do encounter someone of that vibration, then yes, you have exactly and precisely understood that it can be used still, nevertheless, in a positive way to accelerate your own growth, to enhance your own growth, and also perhaps still yet as an opportunity or a possibility for them to learn something as well by seeing how you respond to them. You follow?
Okay, I understand that. Then they would see how I would respond. But
yes.
What benefit am I getting around being people that are depressed and negative?
Well, you could help them, perhaps, alleviate their depression.
Only if they're receptive to it.
Of course. But again, it doesn't matter because it still can be used by you in a positive way. Use your imagination on this. And again, remember, simply and fundamentally, there is no mystery to the idea that you might keep running into people like this just because you're on Earth, and that's the way Earth is right now.
It is, and
So it is not an issue of attempting to avoid that. In other words, ultimately, there really is, at this moment in your evolution, no way to completely avoid that. Because you have made an agreement to recognize that there are still going to be a number of people going through their own processes, probably still exhibiting a lot of negativity, and so on and so forth. And you simply have to allow yourself to recognize that's the atmosphere in which you exist right now. And it will eventually change. But not right now. Right now, you are still capable of running into many different kinds of people with many different kinds of beliefs, many different kinds of attitudes, some of which are going to be highly incompatible with yours. But you have to trust the synchronicity of your life in that if they are there in your life, if they do come in to your life, then there is something there that will help either you, them, or both of you, if you are willing to look at it from that perspective. Because again, you see, if you really are of a vibration that you say is the vibration of your preferred reality, then it won't matter to you who it is that comes into your life or who it is you interact with, because the interaction for you will always be positive, beneficial, and constructive, and allow you perhaps to exercise more compassion. You follow?
yes, it seems like as I think that I'm getting to be more positive,
Yes.
I'm actually running into more negative people.
But you see, then that's a good sign. It means
But-
you can handle it. Don't you get it? Remember when we said the idea is that growth on your planet at this time is not an exclusion principle, it's an inclusion principle. And the more light you create in your life, the more you will become aware of the dark that also exists in your reality. Becoming aware of more of the dark means you are containing and radiating more of the light. So it's a good sign.
Except there's more and more people I don't want to be around.
But you see, you're judging it. And in
Yes.
judging it, you are matching their frequency, and that's why it's uncomfortable for you.
Okay.
It's uncomfortable not because you are actually staying in your frequency, it's uncomfortable because you're not staying in your frequency of preference.
Okay.
That's then, for you, obviously, one of the main reasons why you're attracting them, to show yourself that it is actually very easy for you to succumb to their vibration instead of staying in the one you prefer. And therefore, this is actually a constructive lesson for you, that it's easy for you to give up the reality of your preference in light of what they are offering you instead. And you don't have to.
So I would know that I have made a change when I'm around these people and I recognize that they're being negative or they're depressing, and I
Yes.
just don't respond to it in any way.
You respond to it in a positive way, but it
I
doesn't
mean-
affect you in that sense.
Correct, that it doesn't affect
In a
me
negative
in any
way.
way. That's what I meant.
Negatively,
That it
yes.
doesn't affect
You
me.
can remain neutral with it if it does occur. I mean, you can also make your own statements in a loving way. You can make a statement to a person to say, your energy in that sense is not really compatible with the preference of how I wish to experience my reality. Now, I'm willing to assist you as far as it goes. But you also have to recognize that you have the opportunity to change your energy. And if you choose not to, I will love you nonetheless, because I allow you to choose whatever it is you believe is best for your reality. But I will have to simply let you know that a consequence of your choice might be that we may not interact any longer, because I prefer not to have that energy in my reality. So you give them a choice. And in that sense, you put it on equal footing. At the same time, again, if they do keep coming into your life, it's still your opportunity to recognize that you don't have to give up the vibration of your preference just because they happen to be there. Otherwise, they are still simply giving you a chance to recognize that it's easy for you to give up your preference.
Okay,
Does that help you?
yes. I also had a question about that you said that we're on the threshold of change and...
Well, of course, you're going through it rapidly.
But it seems like there's still a lot of violence and...
Yes.
And
Yes.
you read the paper and it doesn't
Yes.
seem like there's a big change, and...
All right,
in general,
once
I mean-
again, please pay attention. The closer you get to the light, the more darkness will appear.
Okay.
Did I not just say that a moment ago?
Yes.
Well, then why would it be surprising to you that you will see more violence coming out? The idea, once again, is that as you close in on the threshold, you are giving yourself an opportunity to get all of the old stuff out of your system. But in order to get it out of your system, you have to get it out on the table in front of your face first. You have to see what's going on so that you can see that you can make a difference and make a change. But in order to make that change, you have to know what it is you are changing. And to know what it is you are changing, you have to see more of what it is you've been hiding under the table. So the closer you get to the light, the more capable you are of allowing the darkness that has been suppressed to come to the surface. So of course, there will appear to be at first more negativity, more violence. You're getting it all out in the open so that you can really finally see what the choices are, dark and light, and allow yourself to choose the reality you really prefer. But that's a symptom of growth. It's a symptom of change, that everything will be there, not just one side. Everything has to be there before the change can really sink in. Does that make sense to you?
Yes.
All right.
It seems
You
like
say that with some resignation.
it's okay. Here's a resignation.
Why isn't that
It
exciting to
seem-
you? Why are you not defining that as exciting, knowing that that's a symptom that you're getting closer to crossing that threshold instead of looking at it as if somehow there's something wrong?
Because I hear what you're saying, and I believe it on a global basis, but on an everyday basis, when you talk to people you work with or people that you meet,
Yes.
and they're just struggling to get by, they're not
Yes.
even asking questions, much less looking for answers. So
So?
there's I don't see a lot of growth.
So,
Outside
not
of-
everyone on your planet will change,
But the
you know.
majority are not.
Not everyone on your planet will change, and it may not even be the majority that will. That is not going to stop the idea of a transition. If in your mind you require a majority to go into the light in order for the entire world to change, perhaps you just don't understand the physics.
Perhaps.
The idea is this. Positive energy is integrative and geometrically powerful in that direction. Negative energy is segregative. And in that sense, it requires fewer people going in the positive to outweigh the amount of people staying in the negative.
Okay.
This is the idea behind the phrase that exists in your society of the 144,000. It means many other things as well. But the point is that if you actually have only 144,000 individuals vibrating above a certain frequency level on your planet in a positive energy format, those 144,000 will actually energetically outweigh the other several billion who may be still in negativity, because the several billion in negativity are not functioning cohesively,
Okay.
whereas the 144,000 are functioning geometrically cohesively. So in that sense, their energy completely outweighs the other billion individuals who are not functioning cohesively.
I see that.
Does that help you understand the
Yes.
process?
Yes.
Then take heart. All right?
Okay.
Remember that as you shift and as you change, bit by bit, day by day, literally into new realities every moment, ultimately, yes, you will only ultimately, not right now, ultimately see only those operating on the same level with you. But the population of the world may not be the same in that new reality.
Okay.
Do you understand? Does that help you?
Yes.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.